From the grand departure for the Tour de France in Copenhagen, Denmark, welcome to the GCN show.
Hello and welcome to the GCN show.
Coming up this week, has cycling hit an all-time low? The age of the enormous helmet, aero-snood, bazillion-dollar race bike and team-issue Crocs is upon us. What can and should be done about it?
We have got some good new tech, plus we have some great news from the gravel world.
Yeah, and we have our final updates from our formerly unfit but still middle-aged man, Killian Kelly. Plus, Manon reports back after her first training sessions getting ready for the epic Steamboat gravel race. She is properly nervous about that, mate. This week in the world of cycling, we learned that Denmark and the Danes really love cycling. Like, really love cycling. They even had Tour de France sausages, which looked delightful.
Now, in spite of the sausages, or perhaps because of them, there were millions out supporting the opening 3 stages of the Tour de France. And in a country of nearly 6 million people, that's a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, it is. And I, having been out there, also learned just what happens when city planners also love cycling. Talk about paradise, right? There are 386 kilometres of bike lanes in Copenhagen alone. There are 12,000 kilometres of bike lanes in Denmark in total. And would you believe it, of all journeys taken in the country, 16% of them are done by bike.
An amazing place, but at the same time we must send our thoughts back to Copenhagen after the altogether more tragic news which emerged on Sunday following the shooting there in the city.
Yeah, really shocking, wasn't it? And it came after a weekend of celebration and cracking racing as well. EF Education Easy Post rider Magnus Kort became a national hero following 2 breakaways in 2 days, snatching the polka dot jersey, which was something that he seemed quite pleased with.
Slightly embarrassing for Magnus, seeing as he did celebrate the win 117 kilometres too early.
Yeah, amateur mistake that, isn't it? Perhaps not quite as embarrassing, though, as his team-issue Crocs.
Are they embarrassing, though, Sire? Or are they the coolest shoes, the best shoes ever invented? I, for one, am a fan. I'd wear them everywhere and anywhere. I'd wear them to a wedding. But let us know in the comment section down below.
For the record, Connor is not currently wearing Crocs.
Frantically searching for some online.
Anyway, when it comes to embarrassing looks at this year's Tour de France, though, the teams are taking things to a whole new level.
Where do we start, though, Sire? Perhaps with a trend for oversized helmets.
With the trend for oversized helmets. So it used to be that the POC Temper time trial helmet was head and shoulders above the rest. Pun very much intended there. And it wasn't helped at all, I think, by the addition of the cartoon character on it for this year's Tour de France. But now, there are pretenders to the crown of dorkdom.
Firstly, Ineos Grenadiers had their riders in XXXXL helmets. Little Tom Pidcock looked like he just walked off a set of Bug's Life, or perhaps he was just using his helmet as an umbrella. Plus, the helmets had these huge visors to go with them.
Yeah, I like those.
What?
The visors.
You liked them?
Yep.
I know what this is about. You just want to make your super massive, sunglasses fairly modest, don't you?
Well, yeah, my super massive, very cool sunglasses that I now know also make me more aero, not less, because apparently their visors, and therefore my sunglasses, trip the air and make my shoulders more aero.
If only your shoes could do the same for your ankles. Aside from that, though, there was the Specialized TT5, which looked like it walked straight off the set of Star Wars. Instead of a strap, it had a head sock.
Head sock? That's a generous way of putting it, Connor. Perhaps you lot could let us know in the comments section how you would describe the aero-snood, and we will enjoy reading them, even if we won't be able to read them out next week, because I would imagine they're not fit to do so.
Maybe not.
Yeah. But anyway, it's got to be said, it did feel like something of a new low for time trialling. But then having said that, since about the early 80s, time trialling has basically just been one low after another, hasn't it?
It's time they ban the TT bike. Yeah, just ban it, get rid of it.
But then that's not going to sort out the aero-snood, is it?
Ban that too. Ban the snood, ban the TT bike, ban it all.
I think, to be fair, it is probably a ban that we can all get behind, even if it is purely on aesthetic terms, just to save face in cycling.
Yeah.
Anyway, all is not lost, Connor. Yves Lampart won that Prologue TT on an old non-condom head Specialized helmet. Presumably the farmer's son from Flanders took a more no-nonsense approach to his time trial tech, which is great. And also, big shout out to Geraint Thomas of Ineos Grenadiers, who had every single aerodynamic aid under the sun and forgot to take off his gilet, and so raced the Prologue opening TT with a 50-watt penalty.
That was a facepalm moment, if there ever was one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still think that's a brilliant story. I kind of love it. It's what cycling's all about. Either way, though, Si, this one is for you. Waxing lyrical over in Copenhagen with Stefan Bissegger's new prototype tyres in a video that went out 2 days after Bissegger crashed in one 13-kilometre TT.
Crashed twice in one 13-kilometre TT. Yeah, the curse of GCN is strong. I think all I'm going to say is Bissegger was clearly committed for the win.
Move on.
It was all or nothing, and unfortunately, it was nothing, wasn't it?
Sorry, Stefan.
Yeah, that was not good, was it?
Yeah, but I do think, you know, TTs and time trialling in general is advancing so much due to aerodynamics and the gains we're making in aerodynamics. But are we losing the approachability of TTs?
No, I don't think so. And I don't think we're losing the approachability of cycling either. And I know that's going to be contentious because no one can afford the tech that they're using at the Tour de France. But that's not the point, because you might not be able to afford it, you might not want it, you certainly wouldn't be seen dead in some of it, but there are bits there in amongst the aero snoods that you think, well, actually that is applicable to me, and probably you lot out there as well, like the fact that most of the teams are using 28mm wide tyres because they roll faster and they're more comfortable, or as in they roll faster because effectively they're more comfortable. Even Ineos Grenadiers using 28mm tyres. So I think that's kind of cool. And so if you pick and choose, you can find the stuff that's applicable to the rest of us.
That's true. I would have liked to try and use a TT bike with 28mm tyres and brakes that actually work.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
That would be quite good, wouldn't it?
Again, let us know in the comments what you think of all this, especially that snood. I'm going to be interested to hear your responses. Either way, I do think we need to come back to this in a moment because we do need to talk about the new Shimano 105 Di2 as well. Now though, the women's pro peloton have been racing in Italy, not committing any fashion faux pas in the opening stage of the Giro Donne, as far as we can see, in their first Grand Tour of the season.
That's right, yep. The opening stages, amongst them we saw two cracking sprint stages, the first of which was won by Elisa Balsamo after Marianne Vos started her sprint fractionally too soon. But she made amends the next day with a superlative sprint, taking her career total of Giro Donne stage wins to 31, which is pretty awesome, isn't it?
That is pretty nuts, 31 victories, madness. Yeah. And Annemiek van Vleuten is in action there, and she also announced her retirement at the end of next year, giving her 2 more chances to try and take the Giro Tour double.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against it.
No, I wouldn't either, actually.
Not at all. You can, of course, watch both of those races on GCN+. In fact, Giro Donne you can watch all week alongside the men's Tour de France as well in key territories. So some of you, as you all already know, might miss out that. Now, whilst we're talking about bike races, we can't not talk about our ace cycling statistician, but riding novice, Cillian Kelly, who is about to tackle his literal and metaphorical mountain to climb.
It's literally 3 mountains, but who's counting?
Sorry, his literal and metaphorical 3 mountains. It's Cillian Kelly with his final vlog update.
So this is it, a week to go. This is my last big spin. Gonna go for one more 100km plus spin today, and then I get to taper for the week. But yeah, so last big one, and I'm feeling good. I dropped the bike into Nicholas Roach's shop, Rocca Sports, during the week, and they put an extra gear on the back. So the two biggest pieces of advice I've been given so far are lose weight, which I have done really since I started this. I've lost just about a stone, which is I think just about 5 kilos, which it's not spectacular, but it's okay, and it's, you know, pretty pleased with it. And but the other big piece of advice was get an easier gear, just for the really steep pitches. And the biggest cog I had on the back was a 30, so the shop put on a 34 for me, and I've just been on the hills around Cove where I live, and there's some serious steep hills around here, so I've just been up a couple 15, 16, sometimes 18% in places, and yeah, difference is significant, I would say, which I suppose is the desired effect. So I'm really happy with that. It's made me a bit more confident, and yeah, everybody wishing me well.
Yes, Killian, best of luck to you from all of us here at GCN. You actually, well, you lot too, you can see how fit he is prior to the attack, because we've got a video coming out this Saturday, haven't we, where you put him through his paces.
Yep.
On Alpe d'Huez Zwift again.
Yep, we gave him a lot of support. We were very nice and put him on his own.
You weren't quite as mean as last time.
I wasn't mean. I was, drill sergeant. Time to get, serious.
Yeah.
I think it helped. I think it did help. Either way, yeah, you can catch that this weekend. Killian's heart rate was over 200 beats per minute on Alpe d'Huez Zwift. He went deep. He went deep.
Well, yeah, maybe your encouraging words.
Yeah, encouraging.
Did help him.
I think it did.
Yeah, right. Anyway, some cycling shorts for you now. As Conor mentioned in the intro, there was also some great tech at the Tour, as well as the questionable tech.
Yeah, which will be on sale very soon-ish.
Well, some of it might, yeah.
Either way, Si got his hands on 3 bikes, which will be available to watch on GCN Tech soon, with a deep dive into all of them. But first off, he did see the Trek Madone, which I thought looked pretty mega.
Yeah, very nice it was too.
Yeah, also new Canyon. I think it looks like an Ultimate.
Yeah, very nice it was too.
Also today, Pogacar's new Colnago.
Yeah, meh.
What? Didn't like that one?
Oh, no, I'm only kidding. It was bloody lovely as well. They were all absolutely amazing. Of the 3, the Trek Madone is the only one that's been officially launched so far. And it turns out that gap, the A-hole, isn't called an A-hole at all. It's called ISOFlow. So it feels a little bit like the Trek marketing team might have missed a trick there, but who are we to judge?
In other news, the Pirate Cycling League, who promoted the Gravel Worlds last year, actually it's not the Gravel Worlds, they just called it that, and it stuck as a joke. Either way, they've just received over 1,000 entries this year from women riders, which is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely incredible. That is going to be in Nebraska, I believe, on the 20th of August. So brilliant, isn't it? When mass participation rides have been so male dominated for so long, as you say, this is a milestone, isn't it? So brilliant stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. Let's go back to Shimano 105 Di2 though, because there was loads of interest in it last week, and rightly so, because Shimano are bringing wireless 12-speed electronic group set at the 105 level to the market. Brilliant stuff, but not everyone was happy about it. No.
A lot of you seem to be slightly annoyed by the price, which is certainly a premium over the old group set, and it's definitely compounded by inflation and the rising costs of manufacture globally. I also think that part of the problem might have been my description of 105 as being the group set of the people, when now €2,800 as an entry point for a complete bike. Probably not.
I totally blame you, Si.
Yeah.
So it's all your fault.
Sorry, mate.
Everyone blames Si in the comments. Yeah, the other thing is you simply can't compare group sets to those from when they've just come out. If you look at SRAM Rival, when that was first released, it was selling for $1,650, which is a lot more expensive than it is now. That price does come down over the years.
Yeah, that's right. We had comments saying how much more expensive 105 DR2 is compared to Rival Access. And actually, as you say, that's not true when they were both launched. And we do totally get the point that bike prices are becoming bonkers in many respects, aren't they? And we totally understand that many of us are priced out of the latest and greatest tech. But also, we kind of want to reassure you that the latest and greatest tech is not essential. We made that video the other week where we went and bought £500 bikes and raced them. And not only will we be competitive, we still had an absolute blast. So the reason we make these tech videos is because you lot are interested, and we know that because you watch them, and it's not because you need that tech. And we never, ever, ever would ever want anyone to think that you have to have the latest and greatest tech. I don't care what bike you ride, just as long as you ride it.
Yeah, I still blame you, Si. It's time for hack / Bodge.
Yes, right then. First up, coming in this week from Gareth Fullerton. We got this: tube to the rescue during the tour of Cambridgeshire. Having a crash with 32 miles to go, I was left with a rear derailleur and jockey wheel bent between the rear spokes. So, to the rescue, he used an old inner tube that had been punctured after his uncle landed on him in the crash. Anyway,
Poor uncle.
tied the rear derailleur in place and managed the last 32 miles stuck in 50-12, but got to the end. So I guess it did the job. Yeah,
What
that is
an
a
effort.
cracking hack, that
Yeah,
one.
definition of a hack.
Yeah,
Fair
indeed.
play.
And you lot, 70% of you said that was a hack as well. So pretty good work there.
Nice work, nice work. Moving on to Patricia Molina. Bar tape for long cross-country race. I got to participate in a 3-day long cross-country bike race. This made a huge difference to comfort and no blisters. So basically just gone for the bar up around the whole bit of the bar.
Including the bar end.
Yeah.
Do you know how pleased Dan would be to see that bar end in there? It's a hack on his behalf, I think.
I think it's a hack. I mean, it seems like a very simple hack. Has no one thought about doing this in the past?
Well, no, normally bar ends were just kind of metal. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, that's a conundrum we've solved.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'd say
well,
it's
fair
a
play,
hack,
Patricia.
I mean, yeah.
73% of you lot said that was a hack as well. Next up, we got this from Scotty Brom, a garage pain cave. Took inspiration from Alex's garage build and built my own. Still work to be done, but it's coming together. Top video, Alex. So that's over on GCN Tech, that one, isn't it? But that does look super cool.
That's quality. A few medals up on the wall there, a few numbers. Like it. Definite hack from me.
Yeah, good work. Yeah, fantastic.
Mega stuff.
And is that a cat?
Is there a cat?
Cat.
It's like a Where's Wally photo. Oh, it is a cat. Yeah, there's a cat bed. Cat in a bed.
Nice.
That's even better in my eyes.
Just be careful if you're doing indoor training around animals.
Maybe the cat's doing Zwift.
Well, yeah, I've always just been slightly nervous about, something getting stuck in. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm sure you thought about that.
Yeah, I'd say it's a Zwift-trained cat, turbo-trained cat.
Yeah, there we
G
go.
West had this one, a twisted handlebar. Found this on my way home in the city centre of Munich. Hacked handlebar for a more upright position. That's a quality one.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, the brakes are in the right place.
Yeah, that's the thing, actually. I was thinking that's it.
So actually, I mean, I guess
Not bad.
technically that is a hack.
Yeah, it is.
Even if it's really ugly.
We've got the upside-down handlebars as a hack on the GCN show.
There we go. I'm probably going to say... I just really want to say bodge, because it just doesn't look nice, does it? But then that's not a...
I always worry about the handling in this situation. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Can you actually steer the bike?
Well, that's it. 82% of you lot thought that was a bodge. So maybe we should use that as our guide.
We're getting a bit carried away, aren't we?
Yeah, okay. Alex Kochler, improvised bike computer mount. Wow, that is some serious improvisation. Didn't feel like swapping the mounts to my everyday riding bike, so I strapped my Wahoo to the top tube using a rubber phone mount. It worked like a charm. It worked like a charm even if you can't see 90% of the data on the screen.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I'm more worried about losing the computer. If you hit a few bumpy potholes that's coming, I think that's going to worm its way out.
Yeah.
I'd be too nervous to do that myself.
Well, maybe he's just recording the data.
Yeah, I still think that's coming loose. It looks stable, but that is going to fall off. If you go down a 15k mountain on Tari Road, bumpy road, that's falling off.
Yeah. Speaking of stuff, expensive stuff bouncing off your bike, did Dan Martin really ride that Duffy Bike Park with a phone strapped to his handlebars?
Yeah, he did. He's a busy man. He's answering his emails. He's making calls down the track.
It was the nerdiest thing I've ever seen. I saw the first GoPro. Well, we'll explain more in just a moment. But seriously, that was literally the nerdiest thing I've ever seen. Right. Anyway, what are we going to say for that last one? Hack or bodge?
It's a bodge. It's not a good hack. It's
No.
losing his computer, and you'll never find that in a Verge. You'll be looking all day. You'll never find it.
True. All right, bodge. And also 71% of you lot thought that was a bodge as well. Right then, before we move on to the caption competition, we have our first vlog from Manon, who, as you'll know if you watched Friday's video, has embarked on a training plan to get ready for not only her longest ride ever, her longest race ever, and certainly her longest off-road shenanigans as well. It's a 144-mile steamboat gravel race. And
That's going to be tough.
she's going for it, isn't she?
Yeah, good on her.
Over to you, Manon.
So today is my very first day of the Wahoo System training plan, training for the Steamboat Gravel Race. I'm starting training a little bit later than I hoped because I have been feeling a little bit under the weather the last week and a half, just a little bit run down from a lot of travelling and running around, but still not feeling 100% myself, so I'm not going to do anything that my body's not comfortable with yet. But the training plan today should be very manageable. I've got a nice yoga session to start with today. I've got a mind session, and I've also got an on the bike workout, which is cadence drills, which should be fine. But I'm just going to listen to my body and see how it goes. But I'm sure the yoga will be fine. And when I get on the bike, in the first 5 minutes, I'll know how I feel. So hopefully it'll all go good. So that is my very first structured session done and dusted. Nothing too horrendous. So it was only just over 30 minutes of work with a 30-second build, which was really nice. Not hitting as high a cadence as I thought, but you know, we have to start somewhere. I'm not going to be hitting the numbers that I was, say, 2 years ago. So that's absolutely fine. But the cadence session was a really nice one to start with because it wasn't so much about power numbers. It was more just about getting the feel for the bike, getting my legs turning again, which is good. But got my little mind session this afternoon and then on to tomorrow. This has absolutely nothing to do with my training, but make sure to put your pedals on correctly, guys, because this just happened. Schoolboy error.
It's caption competition time now, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a coveted Elite water bottle. Going for special edition yellow at the moment, available in the shop, of course, along with a whole load of other July-themed merchandise. Although, we have it on good authority, don't we, that the collaboration with the Tour de France themselves has almost entirely sold out. So if you want to get your hands on it, head over to shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com, like sharpish, and you better hope there's something left.
I'm liking the yellow bottles, actually.
Yeah,
I've got one in my pink Orbea, so just thought I'd add another colour in there.
Oh, God.
Either way, though, this week's capturing competition winner is Sprod G. With this brilliant suggestion. I thought barriers to success was a metaphor. The race organisers felt otherwise. Nice one.
I like
Yellow
that.
bottle on its way to you.
Very good indeed. Right, if you want to win a GCN Elite water bottle, then you need to stick a witty caption in the comment section down below that relates to a photo that we're going to give you now. This one, Rigoberto Urán.
Love it. There's a lot going on here we need to dissect. I think I've got a suggestion.
Go on then.
It's quite rare because I always struggle with these. I'm going for Rigoberto Urán debuts new prototype TT helmet. Is it there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you struggled this time at all.
Hey guys. No, that's right.
No, honestly, yeah, no, that's great.
I'm improving though.
Yeah, no.
Improving.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, well done, mate. I'll pop them back on the shelf there, if that's all right. Anyway, if you lot think you can beat Connor's caption, then stick your comments in the comment section. No, well done, mate. Well done. Yeah.
Thanks. So.
Okie doke. Before we give you Extreme Corner, yes, Extreme Corner is back for perhaps 2 weeks, we think. A quick shout out to Nathair Abu Dahab with this quality comment. Ollie's amazing strength and fitness isn't a phrase we hear very often on GCN because it wasn't Ollie Bridgewood this week, it was Ollie Wood in the world's most expensive race bike video that Alex was in at the weekend. So make sure you check it out if you haven't seen it already, actually. It was, well, it wasn't quite as fast as I thought, considering it's the world's most expensive bike, but
I've just got visions of Oliver Bridgewood tensing his biceps in my head for some reason. I can't get it out of my head.
You've got an amazing imagination, Connor, that's for sure.
Yeah, either way, let's move on to what's coming up this week up on the channel. So on Wednesday, you can find how to choose your saddle. How do the pros choose their saddles at the Tour de France?
I was going to tell people that, wasn't I?
You were going to tell people
that.
Sorry,
mate, yeah, I was going to tell people, yeah. On Thursday, it's how to climb like a Tour de France pro. And then on Friday, Hank is in London, actually racing Alec Briggs. I think Alec's on a fixie and Hank is on a geared bike, and they're having a race across London. So goodness knows what's going to happen in that race with a pair of them.
I know. I'm glad Hank's got brakes, at least.
Yes.
It's a liability. And this is why it's my part, because the weekend videos are actually are my videos, because we've got Killian Kelly. His final fitness check before he takes on the Etaples Tour. We sent him up Alpe de Zwift. I actually raced him. We gave him a little bit of a head start. It's a bit of a trivia quiz, so he got some time ahead of me. So you can find out the results of that on Saturday. Then on Sunday, it's the second and final instalment of Downhill Dan, sending Dan Martin down the Fort William World Cup course. At least we gave him L plates.
Yeah.
You know.
True that.
Good thought.
Yeah.
Find out if he gets to take them off this Sunday, though.
Yeah. Also, a reminder for racing fans, of course, you've got the Giro d'Onnée, you've got the Tour de France, but the film out on GCN Plus this week is a cracking little, I don't know how you describe it really, it's a bit of a deep dive into one of cycling's legendary super teams, the Mapei team. So do make sure you check that out if you're a racing fan, because it's a part of cycling history that everyone should know, shouldn't they? You even learned how to say Mapei today.
Yeah, I was going a bit of a flap this morning. I don't blame myself. It was the best kit ever invented, though.
It was, yeah.
It was
anyway, right, Connor, we're done, mate.
Well done.
That's the end of the GCN show. Thank you all so much for watching.